Welcome to a pentagonal new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. Now, this is an episode many of you have wanted me to do for the past few months now, whether you've realized it or not. So I hope you're all ready to live moss and think outside the bun, because today, we're talking about Decarabia. Decarabia is one of the 72 demons found in the Ars Goetia, a facet of demonology I'm actually quite interested in, but have mostly neglected in this series. I think the last one I talked about was Orobus, and that was back in 2017. As a demon, Decarabia is considered one of the great Marquis of Hell, and has 30 legions of demons under his command. If you wanted to summon him, you do so using this symbol. Decarabia, or simply Karabia as he's sometimes known, is not an all-powerful or dangerous demon, but one of knowledge, specifically having the knowledge of all herbs, birds, and precious stones and gems. If you have any questions about these subjects, he'll happily teach them to you. Decarabia primarily appears in the shape of a 5-tipped star, but does have the ability to shapeshift into a man should his summoner request him to. One of the main things Decarabia can do for his summoner is gift them with a familiar in the form of a bird. These birds sing and eat and drink like a normal bird would, but it's magic. I guess they don't have any special abilities beyond that, but hey, free magic bird. Decarabia's Compendium entry from Devil Summoner 2, Raido Kuzunoha vs. King Abaddon, refers to him as one of the 72 demons of the Goetia. This strange demon appears as a pentacle. Keeper of mineral and herb lore, Decarabia is said to lend one his bird-formed familiars. Design-wise, Decarabia has always appeared in the shape of a star. In early designs, he was much, well, grosser looking, appearing a bit more as an uneven star with veins and whatnot adorning his body. And I know what all of you are thinking, wait a minute, it's October. Doesn't John usually do a movie monster demon this time of year? Decarabia isn't a movie monster. Oh, but that's where you're wrong. Kaneko took Decarabia's design straight from a movie. A very specific Japanese sci-fi flick to be precise. Uchujin Tokyo ni Arawaru, which translates as Spacemen Appear in Tokyo, was a 1956 tokusatsu film. One of many created to ride the guy in rubber monster suit wave created by Godzilla. The film, known to most Westerners as Warning from Space, featured these one-eyed, star-shaped aliens that should definitely look familiar to Megaten fans. Kaneko's updated art for Decarabia seems even closer to the aliens from the film, but there is one other unique inspiration Kaneko drew from when creating this demon. When discussing the demon designs in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, Kaneko said that Decarabia was making puppy eyes like the Chihuahua from a certain advertisement. Well, some of you may recall back in the Chimera episode when I hinted at a demon inspired by the famous Taco Bell dog, and surprise, Decarabia is that demon. The Taco Bell dog, otherwise known as Gidget, was a marketing campaign used by the fast food chain Taco Bell from 1997 to 2000. The Chihuahua was voiced by comedian and voice actor Carlos Alazraqui, famous for other characters like Rocco and Spyro the Dragon. Maybe it would be a bit of a stretch to say that Decarabia's design was completely based on this dog, especially when the Warning from Space influence is so much stronger, but I hope from here on out, whenever you stare into that one big lovable eye, you'll see that little Chihuahua staring back at you and whispering, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Something I find very odd about Decarabia is that despite a well-known aspect of the demon being its ability to shapeshift into a man, there aren't any versions that showcase this other form. Well, except for Geet and Megami Tensei, where— oh god, I take it back. Just stay as a star. Just always be a star. It's fine. As far as game history goes, Decarabia has a surprisingly deep amount of lore. Despite his simplistic design, he's often considered one of the most popular demons, and has appeared in multiple pieces of Megaten-related artwork and trailers. Heck, there's even a papercraft Decarabia that you can print out and make for yourself. One of Decarabia's more interesting factoids is his established friendship with fellow demon Forneus. Presumably this friendship came from them sharing mythological origins and both having designs based on sea creatures. In Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, an NPC Decarabia found in Shibuya will tell the Demi-Fiend that he's waiting for his friend Forneus to meet him. As for that Forneus, well... sure he'll be here soon. An extra sad but hilarious note regarding this is that Decarabia is standing by the Hachiko statue, a famous dog who was memorialized for waiting for his owner for the rest of his life. Despite this supposed friendship, the two don't have any sort of special conversations with one another. In fact, Decarabia's only unique conversation is in Devil Summoner 2, Raido Kuzunoha vs. King Abaddon, where he talks with fellow one-eyed demon Ichimokuren about how they each only have one eye. A fact that apparently Ichimokuren had never realized up until this very moment. The connection between Decarabia and Forneus would even be referenced in other games, like Persona 3, where the two have a fusion spell together called Best Friends, which acts the same as the Heat Riser skill from Personas 4 and 5, buffing all stats for a single ally for 3 turns. Like every other fusion spell in the game, performing Best Friends is one of Elizabeth's requests, and she even has dialogue directly referencing the aforementioned bit from Nocturne. Completing this request rewards players with Yukari's summer outfit, which is just nice. It's also assumed that the fake video game in Persona 5, Star Forneus, is a reference to the duo as well. Speaking of Persona 5, Decarabia has always been a member of the Fool Arcana, until Persona 5 Royal came along and decided he'd be more comfortable as a member of the Consultant Arcana. I feel like I've been covering quite a few of those lately. I mean, who's next? Nigi Mitama? In both Royal and the regular game, Decarabia has the shadow name Vicious Pentagram. In the Metroidvania title, Shin Megami Tensei Synchronicity Prologue, Decarabia has a rather large role, appearing as the main boss battle in Sector 2. Though with his predictable patterns and taking advantage of the layout of the room, I actually find him to be one of the easiest boss battles in the game. Decarabia has a minor role as a boss demon during Chalk Eater's D2 questline in Shin Megami Tensei Liberation D2. While attempting to hack into an enemy system, a demon is able to take control of Shang Tsung's brain and must be fought off by Newbie and Eileen. While the demon has no story dialogue, a large wave of Decarabia, including a boss demon, must be fought in order to save their friend. Also, in Shin Megami Tensei 4, Decarabia can be obtained by evolving Kaiwan. There doesn't seem to be any logic to this besides them both being star-shaped, I guess. Like many other members of the Ars Goetia, Decarabia plays a part in the MMO title Shin Megami Tensei Imagine as one of Setsu's personal demons. He also appears as a pretty early story boss, but doesn't really seem to serve much of a purpose in the game's plot like some of the higher-ranking demons. One of my favorite appearances of Decarabia is actually an indirect cameo in Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. Decarabia appears as the mascot of Karabia Jewelry, an accessory shop found in Shibuya. The entire shop is decorated with his color scheme and star motifs, with a giant spinning statue of the demon on full display. As a demon with masterful knowledge of precious stones, he's quite fitting as the inspiration for a jewelry shop. Karabia is even run by a character that specifically resembles Amy from the Fire Emblem series. And so there you have it, Decarabia, the five-sided friend of Forneus, forwarding philosophy of flowers, feathered fowls, and fluorite. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.